Hey Tubies, it's Psychic Bob. Well, I tell you, it's Sunday. I am out in this glorious weather. Check it out. The Sun Lord is high above us. It's about noontime, and I'm loving it. I got Guccina here with me. She's out on our walk. I got on my big sun shirt. How you like that, huh? Is Psychic Bob styling or what? And I got a new piece of jewelry. Check this out. Is this gorgeous or what? This is Our Lady of Guadalupe. Isn't she beautiful? Just sparkles. We're going to talk about that in a little while. I'm just out getting some sun. Whoop, I'm tripping here. I got to watch what I'm doing. I'm just out getting some sun. And we have a little lunch. And we're going to talk about Saint Magick today. You know, there's all types of magic in the world. And I think the saints are a wonderful connection in the spirit world to do some magic. So we're going to talk about that. So come on along today for our adventure. Well, Tubies, here I am by the creek near my home. I'm telling you, it is beautiful. If you look up through here, it's like a tropical paradise. All the trees are in bloom. It's rich and lush. The water's looking clear today. I don't know if we'll see any fish down there. Well, we might see some fish. I tell you. You know, Sunday is all about the sun. And we're lucky because we got a great sun today. I'm feeling it. You know, the sun is in the zodiac. It's called the illuminator of the zodiac. This is why when we talk about horoscopes, you know, you're born under a sign, it's your sun sign, because that's considered a driving force, a predominant energy in your life. Well, I tell you, I'm feeling the sun today. I know a lot of you have been asking about what happened yesterday to the Saturday night seance. Well, I actually did the seance. It was pretty cool. But then when I was editing it, something happened to the file and it got corrupted and I wasn't able to finish it. And it split it, it rearranged. I was trying to edit it and it split it and rearranged it. I couldn't get it to play. So it ended up being a wasted file. I saw some of the channeling. It was pretty cool and I really disappointed I couldn't show it to you. And then I was booked up with readings. I didn't have time to do anything else. So unfortunately it ended up being wasted time. Well, I mean, it's never wasted when you channel, but it was wasted in the sense that I wasn't able to share it with you guys. So some days it's like that. You know, Psychic Bob's a full-time medium. So, you know, I want to say thank you to all of you who've been coming out to readings with me. I've enjoyed meeting so many of you. You've been wonderful. If you want to get on my schedule, we have readings spots still open for this next week. And you can write to me at readings@robert-hickman.com. I'll put the link in the info box below. Anyways, I'm going to get some food and get recharged, and hopefully we'll be able to edit this video today. Hey Tubies, well, I'm back home. Tried to go out to lunch today. Had a little bit of an adventure. I got up to our local shopping center where they have all the restaurants. And I walked in my favorite restaurant, La Casa. And all the lights were off. And they said, our power's gone down. We're only serving drinks. I thought, okay, now it's turned into a bar. You know, dark room, everybody's drinking. I don't know. So I couldn't get lunch. So I walked down. I thought maybe it's just their restaurant. And I went down a few shops to a little Chinese restaurant that I go to. It's a little carry-out. And I walked in, all their lights off. And I walked in, I said, you're not cooking either. They said, oh, what do you want? And I said, well, I was going to order my usual sesame chicken. They said, we think we might be able to make it. And I thought, what? How are you going to cook with all the power off? Well, out from the back comes a little, I must have been 4 feet tall, Chinese man. He goes, I can cook chicken. I can cook chicken. It was like a scene out of a movie. He was a really cool guy. So he pulls out this burner that's hooked to a gas tank and fires up a little, kind of like a little fire ring, gas ring. And he brings out his wok. He said, I cooked today, even no power. I cooked today. So anyway, he did this cool, elaborate wok cooking. I was the only person at the restaurant. He says, he's looking at the gas meter. He goes, I had just enough gas to cook for you, just enough. So he literally cooked my lunch, and then the gas ran out. And then other people started coming to the restaurant, and they said, we have to close, we can't cook. So I was like the only person that got to eat in that whole shopping center, because the guy, the little Chinese guy, cooked over a gas fire ring with a wok. It was really cool. Anyways, I wish I had filmed it, but I was so shocked. I didn't know what was going on. I just kind of was like, they're like jumping around, said, no, don't leave, don't leave. You know, I've been a long-time customer there, and the lady doesn't mean, she just says, you're my long-time customer. We make sure you have lunch. We make sure you have lunch. And then when the little Chinese guy comes out, he's like all excited. Y'all had to be there. Anyway, it was really cool. I had a good time. But the problem is the air conditioning went out. And it's one of those storefronts, you know, it was all glass. And I started baking. So I could only eat half my lunch because it was just too hot. I couldn't breathe, and I didn't feel like eating. So ended up coming home. Anyways, we're back. So enough of that. But anyways, that's an adventure. Well, you know it's Sunday, and we're going to try to get out a video today. Anyways, I want to show you guys my new pendant. You know I'm always buying jewelry. This is my lucky horseshoe. See, it's done in crystals. And in the middle is Our Lady of Guadalupe. Our Lady of Guadalupe is fascinating. In fact, I think this week I'm going to do an entire video just about Lady of Guadalupe, the history, the meaning, all the symbols in Our Lady's image. So we'll do that later. But today I want to talk about Saint Magick. This kind of ties in with Our Lady of Guadalupe. And anyways, for those of you who are wondering what this is about. Now, I'm a Wiccan, okay, but I'm an eclectic Wiccan. As an eclectic Wiccan, I believe that we can draw from various traditions, various gods, and do magic that works. I'm not a rigid fundamentalist, like you have to be Wiccan, you have to worship Diana, it could only be done this way. I just don't believe that, you know. One of the things that I learned when I came to the craft was that we don't have to abandon our gods or those that we worshipped or honored. They come with us to the craft, and they may yet speak to us and inspire us. This is how I feel about the saints. I used to be a Catholic, and you know, I always loved Mother Mary, and so I found this book, and I recommend if you're interested in magic with working with the saints and Mary, one of the books you want to get is called Magic from Mexico. And this is by Mary Divine. This is put out by Llewellyn. And this is a cool book because it talks about working with Our Lady of Guadalupe. And in Mexico, there is a branch of witchcraft called brujeria. It's Spanish witchcraft. It's actually older than Wicca. But Wicca is nowadays really influencing it. If you look at modern day brujeria, it's really more like Wicca in many ways. But this book was actually written in the 60s originally. And in the 60s, the witches of that time used Catholic imagery to do their magic. And so they talk about Our Lady of Guadalupe, and they call her, and if you can read this, Nuestra Señora la Todopoderosa. It means Our Lady, the most powerful. And they believe that the Virgin Mary, as she appeared as Our Lady of Guadalupe, in fact, let me put a picture of Our Lady of Guadalupe up here. Our Lady of Guadalupe, and this is the whole long story, appeared in Mexico in the 1500s. And ever since then, people have been, you know, saying it's the Virgin Mary. And the witches say, yes, it's Mary, but Mary is a form of the great goddess, the ancient mother. So like the modern day Wiccans, the witches of Mexico, the brujas, who practice brujeria, believe in a great goddess. And so their goddess, they believe, is Guadalupe, Our Lady of Guadalupe, who is actually a form of the Virgin Mary. So this book details how to do magic with the Virgin Mary. And the other night on the full moon, I went ahead and did a ritual from this book. I didn't film it because I wanted just to be in the ritual. I didn't want to worry about filming. But I figured today I would show you my altar and walk you through it. And the altar and the ritual I did comes from this book. So you might want to check out this book, Magic from Mexico by Mary Devine. Okay, definitely look it up. Now, the other thing is, if you like working with the saints, this is another book I highly recommend. This is called The Magical Power of the Saints, and it's by Reverend Ray T. Malbrough. And Reverend Malbrough is a voodoo practitioner. He comes out of Louisiana. He's like more of a hoodoo/voodoo. For those of you who are not familiar with the United States, in the southern areas, there's a form of magic that is based on African folk religion. When the slaves came over in the 1700s, they brought with them their ancient religion, and that's voodoo. And it got mixed with Catholicism of the day. And it's what we have kind of what we call modern day New Orleans voodoo. And it's a magical system working with the saints, a combination of ancient African rites and a little bit of Wicca nowadays mixed in, and also voodoo, traditional Haitian voodoo. It's all combined, and they use the saints as well. And this book I recommend because it talks about how to do candle magic with the saints. And they give at the beginning, one of the things that's really nice is they give all the saints the different forms of Virgin Mary and what color candles she has. Like, for example, here, let's just use this one. This is Our Lady of the Miraculous Medal. Many of you have probably seen that image of Mary. And it says here, Our Lady of the Miraculous Medal, the feast day for her is November 27th. The day of the week to honor her is on Wednesday. And the color of candles she should burn to connect with her are blue and white. And it says, petition her aid in restoring health for habits broken, special favors, to avert danger, protection of motorcyclists, and blessings bestowed. Now, those are just some of her categories. She could do a lot more, but this book goes through and it gives rituals and spells and how to prepare charms and study candles and understand how to burn them to connect with the saints. And here's an altar they show, a Louisiana-style voodoo altar. Notice all the saints, and it's done in multiple tiers. Really fascinating stuff. I'd encourage you to read this. According to this book, he makes a good point. He says that, when the pagan religions were pushed out by the Catholic faith, he said many people felt an empty void. And so he said when they saw the Catholic saints, they became, in a sense, demigods for them. And so many people pray to the saints. They make offerings to the saints. And he explains how to connect with the saints and how it is a truly valid magical system. So I would encourage you guys to get both of these books, okay? So anyways, we're going to take a look at my altar that I set up for La Todopoderosa, which is Our Lady of Guadalupe. So come on along. Behold, Our Lady of Guadalupe. Hey guys, here is my new picture of Our Lady of Guadalupe. It's about 4 feet tall. It's kind of hard to tell here. But I've set up this altar here, and this is a traditional brujeria altar. Behind the picture, that's actually a tapestry on the wall of the zodiac. I'm actually probably going to remove that, but it's just there for the moment. But I set up an altar, and I tried to make it in traditional kind of Mexican, Spanish, colonial style. It's done here. You can see, pardon the mess, I've got stuff everywhere because I'm renovating my room. But we've got down at the bottom here, you can see the altar is actually a small little wood dresser. It's covered in antique ivory lace. So I put ivory lace on the altar. And then according to the book, the main thing you need is an image of Guadalupe. Now, they suggest a statue, and I do have a statue of Our Lady of Guadalupe, but I recently got this amazing replica. It's an exact replica in size and everything as to the original Lady of Guadalupe image in Mexico City, the famous one at the cathedral. But I'm going to do a whole video about that later, but just know for now this is Our Lady of Guadalupe as she appeared, and I think it was around 1531 in Mexico. Now, to set an altar, if you want to work with Our Lady of Guadalupe, it's very simple. All you need is an image. You can have a statue or a picture. It doesn't have to be like this. I was just fortunate to get a life-size Guadalupe, and you can see how big it is. But the things you need are very simple. So you need, traditionally it says a white cloth. So I got an ivory lace cloth. It doesn't have to be lace, but I chose lace. And then you need 2 tall candlesticks. As you see here, I've got these. These are kind of Spanish colonial brass candlesticks. I've got one here, and I've got one over on this side of the altar. And 2 tall taper candles. It's traditionally used tall white tapers or ivory tapers. But I got these because they look like Spanish colonial brass. And you can see the picture frame. I don't know if you can see. It's made of burnished gold all the way around the image. It's very, very beautiful gold. You can see down here at the bottom, maybe a little close-up of it. The frame is just beautiful. Let me move that over. So I got the brass candlesticks to go with the burnished gold frame. So there you actually need 3 candles. You need 2 taper candles, as we have here, and then 1 votive candle. And according to the book, they're supposed to set up in kind of a triangular position. So you have the 2 in the back in front of the image, and then 1 lower down. Then the only other things you need are a glass of holy water, a glass for holy water, I should say. You can either make your own water. They said some people are devout Catholics, use the Catholic holy water. I make my own because I'm a Wiccan priest. But I had this beautiful kind of turquoise blue glass, which I thought looks really nice with this altar set up. And I made holy water on the full moon. And that's what's in there. We can bless the altar with that. And then you need an incense burner. And so I'm using this, I have a few of these triple moon incense burners. And since in the ritual, it's a full moon ritual for Guadalupe as the goddess of the moon, I thought it'd be nice to have a triple moon burner. So I got that. In fact, I'm going to light some incense while we're here. Guadalupe, receive my humble offering of light and air. So mote it be. I'm going to just offer that here. Put that in my burner. In fact, I'll just move that right here closer to the image. Okay. So you need 3 candles, 2 tapers, 1 votive, a glass for holy water, and then the tools of brujeria. You know, in Wicca, we have multiples. We have the pentacle and the wand and the chalice and all that. Well, they consider the 2 main tools of brujeria to be a black-handled knife. They say it's tradition, actually, in the witchcraft of Mexico, just to use a plain old kitchen knife. So I actually have a black-handled kitchen knife here. So that's going to be my brujeria cuchillo, or what do they call it, a knife? I forget the word in Spanish. It's an athame, basically. And then a wand, and it says find any branch outside and use that as your wand. So I've got this beautiful wand, driftwood wand that I had. And so those are your 2 tools right there. And then I guess your chalice would be a tool as well, but they say mainly these are the tools. This is kind of permanent part of the altar according to their tradition. Now I've added a few other things here to the altar. I had Juan Diego here, who's a saint also, Saint Juan Diego. I have a little statue of him. Let's see if you guys can see this here. I just love this little picture, a little statue of him. This is him opening his cloak. Mary appeared on his cloak. And this image, if you go to Mexico, this image is actually his cloak that the image appeared on. And it's made out of like a canvas material. And so this is him wearing his cloak with Mary's image on it. I also have down here a little holy card as well of him seeing the Virgin Mary. It's about the apparition. So you don't have to have this. These are just some extras that I put on my altar. But and then the other thing it says that you need to have is a medal to wear. And I bought this beautiful little silver tone medal. It said it should be a silver colored medal, either sterling or pewter silver tone, and it needs to be on a white cord. That's the tradition. So I've got my medal, and on the night of the full moon and whenever I do rituals here, I wear this medal as well. And anyways, this is a beautiful thing. You can also add, if you want, votive candles or glass jar candles. At a store near where I live, they sell these at the grocery store. They actually have Our Lady of Guadalupe candles, and they're beautiful. They're scented like roses. I just love them, so I bought a few of those. And I also on my altar, I'm keeping one of those. So this is one of my other things. So, but that's kind of the basics that you need to work with Our Lady of Guadalupe. And if you get the book Magick from Mexico, it goes through all the different rituals. It gives the dark moon ritual, it gives the full moon ritual, it gives a ritual for the blessing of the wands, blessing of the knife, blessing of the metals. And then it talks about all the different forms and incarnations of Mary. And you know, in the Catholic tradition, there are different names for Mary. There's Our Lady of Grace, Our Lady of Guadalupe, Our Lady of Fatima. And in this book, it covers all the different forms of Marys. And interestingly, that book calls the different forms of Mary the incarnations of Guadalupe. In the Brujeria tradition, they believe that Guadalupe is the original form of Mary, and that all other Marian apparitions are emanations from this form. Very, very interesting, but I want to come here and show you my altar here. And, you know, I'm going to be doing more work with this, but I wanted just to show it to you. And as I get more versed in Brujeria, we'll have some more on this. But for now, just know that the books that I showed you are definite resources. And as you can see, it doesn't take a lot to set up an altar.